because, well, I think one thing too, I mean, I've often heard like, if you get like on a major label and all of a sudden it's like, a lot of your time isn't your time anymore.
Right.
They really put you on schedule. And I mean, we on tour and all and everything that we were doing. I mean, there was a sense of freedom, which I think, a lot of bands and musicians, always strive not to lose. We don't
Yeah.
want to lose our ability to make our own musical choices and so on and so forth or whatever. Um, but, uh, but being able there was a definite sort of carefree sort of thing, even though, I mean, we had obviously had to, scheduled to keep, try to make enough money
Sure.
into the
Sure.
next show, all that sort of stuff.
But
But
it's kind of the devil's bargain, I think, of going to a major,
yeah,
unless you have enough leverage to say you're going to give us, creative freedom. Or I think bands that go to majors but say, no, we're not going to take $1 million. We're not going to take $500,000 to record. I always felt like bands like Flaming Lips and Mudhoney were smart because they said, we're going to take less money, but in exchange, you're not going to fuck with how we run our band because we know us better than you do, you know?
right.
And
Yep.
then they have longevity and they have careers and, and you can still make money and still make a living,
Exactly. And another
you
big
know?
part of that too, when you talk about that is also very important is, how many, albums you sign out on for. I mean, and
Right.
it's like, if you're smart, let's just do one record, see how that goes sort of deal. I mean,
Well, a major will never do that though.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. But if you can sort of get like maybe two or three, it's just like if you pin yourself down to like so many records, then you're stuck
Well,
for,
I think the issue is invariably like your lawyers and the managers because they all work on commission. So they want to get as much money as possible so that they get the biggest payday.
yeah,
And instead, they should be looking out for their actual band, their actual client, and say, I'm gonna basically bank on the long-term relationship where maybe I don't buy a house after, from from the advance off the first record, but instead, I work with you over the course of 15 or 20 years and it's fruitful and everybody wins.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So let's talk about, your post Nirvana creativity, which is decades, and and your current project as well, Can of Clouds. I was a fan of Fire Ants when that first came out.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. The Wood
but
Brothers.
but it was pretty short lived. And I'm just wondering why, like you just had one full length, right? Like a single and a full length or something like that.
Yep, yep. We put one single out, and then yeah, and then one full length, and that was it. Um,
Is there
yeah,
volatility or what?
no, the issue really was with Brian Wood. I mean, interesting character, really
Yes,
talented. I think a great
I
singer,
remember.
but he always performed his best when it never mattered.
Uh-huh.
We had a show one time where um, there was a guy from I think it was A&M that was coming up to check us out.
Uh-huh.
And, we got to the show, set up to play and everything. Brian was there, but he refused to get on stage. I think he was
Okay.
like on meth or something like that. And he was watching us. And that, he watched us play. I think we might even invited people up from, in the audience to come up and sing because it's just
Right.
like, I mean,
So
that's
sort of a self-saboteur of
yeah,
sorts,
yeah. So,
right?
which is really a shame, and that just ended up kind of that just ended up killing the band. But it was a shame because he was was really talented. So
He
I
was, but
yeah,
he was erratic, as
yeah.
I recall.
And
Was
then
was he
after,
was he still doing that thing where he's bringing his dog on stage?
oh yeah, Tiger. Yep, he'd
Yeah,
bring Tiger
yep.
on stage.
I
Yep.
always I always kind of like I used to kind of love that. Like he brings his dog everywhere, including on stage at a show.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I
So
felt bad for the dog's hearing.